Good morning, everybody. Today is day 417. It is April 9th, 2024, and it is 9:02 a.m. in the morning, and it is a Tuesday. Okay, so I know that I'm recording on an off day, but I thought I haven't said hi to everybody in a while, so let's do a walk and talk together. Okay, so hopefully everything will go okay. I have not been on a treadmill since we got back, and I have no clue what it's going to do. Okay, so let me go ahead and see and get it inclined. Probably should have waited a couple more seconds, but let's get this thing going. Oh, hear the creaking. I do remember it doing that. I think it's going to squeak until we get up to speed. I think I'm only going to walk at speed 2 today, simply because, like I said, it's really hard to keep my balance up here and record. And so I've decided that most of my videos will probably be at no faster than like 2.1, 2.2. And hopefully it works all the way through the video so I don't have like some little technical difficulties with it. Okay, so we're up at incline 12. We're gonna get up to 15, see how it does. I don't know if it's time for it to be oiled or not. I did have to kind of move it around a couple weeks ago. And so I think that not being able to have it set in one place kind of throws it off whack or something. I don't know. Okay, so let's see if I can get this thing up to 2, because it has been going back down when I've been turning it up. And so I don't know if it's going to do that right now. And of course, you guys know we have certain points where it does that right at 1.7. If I get to like 2 or 2.1, it'll go down 1 instead of going up. And then either it will, I don't want to say that because usually when I say it, it happens, right? But it'll stop. And so we're going to see what happens. It's already up to 1, so far so good. Let's see. So I did weigh myself this morning, 169.3. I would say surprisingly, except for one thing. I want to get up to speed before I finish telling you guys everything. Okay, so give me a second. Let me get this thing up to 2, and then we'll go from there. And for some reason, I feel like I'm forgetting something that's supposed to be up here. Maybe my book, but I didn't need it. I thought too much time has passed for us to do a weekly update. And we were gone for a week, so there would be actually no weekly update anyway. I would have to update you for the week or 2 before that. So I think that's why it feels kind of awkward over here, is because usually my book's up here, and I didn't need it this morning. So 1.3, 1.4, okay, 1.5, almost. And I've been having something in my throat this morning. I've tried coughing it up. Of course, that made me almost throw up. So I was like, that's not a good thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm having too much dairy. You guys know I'm lactose, right? So I think too much milk sugar, right? Because that's what lactose is. Maybe this week, I have not a clue. So please excuse my voice because it's probably going to go in and out, possibly. We're at 1.7. I am so nervous to try and turn this thing up. This is crazy. And my left leg, like right where my ankle bends, doesn't want to move. Like it feels like I'm skating. This is so weird. Okay, 1 more. Oh, we're at 4 minutes. Well, almost 4 minutes. By the time I get this thing up to 2, we'll be at 4 minutes. I really don't want to turn this knob. Oh my gosh. See, it went down to 1.8. It was supposed to go up to 2. I think it's telling me something. Okay. 1 more again. Here we go. Okay, It's at 2. I'm not forcing this thing. Okay, so yes, I would be surprised about my weight being at 169.3, except for the fact that the hotel where we went to in Dodge City, Kansas, something is always going on with that hotel. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice hotel, it's clean, but last time we were there, I was thinking when we pulled up, oh, I remember this hotel, this Comfort Suites. Last time, the fire alarm went off at 3 o'clock in the morning. We ended up evacuating outside. Of course, everyone was in their pajamas, and it just so happened to have to be in the cold part of the year. And I know if you live in Kansas, in certain parts you're probably thinking it's like always cold here almost, right? So I can't remember what month that was when we were there last, but I want to say it was within the past couple months, which would make sense, right? Because this is barely April. So of course, earlier this year it would have been colder. So I don't know, June, February, something, not June, I meant January, February, something like that. Might have been the last time that we were there. So there we are, freezing cold, and we're like, we're getting in a truck. We're gonna just sit out here until they tell us everything is clear. I think the fire department showed up and they had to do to clear something with the kitchen or something like that. And so we ended up going back in. And I felt so bad for my husband because, I mean, he had to be up within maybe another hour or two for work. And so that really bites, right? We were both sound asleep, which, you know, that's only normal for one of us, and it's not me. And so I thought I was finally sleeping through the night until the early morning, and then that alarm went off. Now, this time, the elevator was out. We were there from a Monday to, well, actually it was a Tuesday or Monday to Friday. And the whole time it was out, and we were on the 3rd floor. Okay, so every day, whatever reason we left for, up and down the stairs, right? Of course, luggage as well. So now we're telling people, hey, be careful, the elevator's out. And the people were like, oh no, right? Because they had just as many bags as we did. As a matter of fact, they had more. And so my husband checked periodically throughout the week to see if the elevator was gonna get fixed, and no, they were working on it, but And the other thing is that, so I would say, so far, like I said, as weight is concerned, before I continue on, I think I got my workout in. And I said, you know what? By the 2nd or 3rd day, I told myself, I'm gonna count this as a walk. Did I record it in my book? No. But mentally, I thought these stairs, the kick in my tail, right? So I said, yes, this is gonna be considered a walk. I think it's fair out of 4 days to say one will count even if I don't put it on paper. So yeah, so I was happy because I thought that's gonna help keep my weight down. And it did, right? So you guys know, being below 170 is great. My goal is still 150, and I don't know if I'm gonna get there. But I'm just happy I'm not picking up a lot of weight. Now hopefully I don't say that, and then by the end of next week, I weigh 2 more pounds. Okay, so, but yes, the room we were in was nice, it was big. It's called the 1-bedroom. But the cons of it, the refrigerator. They need to put a new refrigerator in there. It sounded like somebody was trying to break in. Like somebody was jiggling the door handle of our room. And like they actually had got in. And so the refrigerator was choosing to do this all throughout the day. Yes, we told them, well, I told them. And especially around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, from then on, I was up until about 9 a.m. Every 2 to 3 minutes, about every maybe 5 minutes. And like I said, he sleeps through like everything. Me, no. You guys know I don't sleep as it is, and so it was worse. I thought, okay, maybe it'll stop at some point, but no. So that was happening. Being right there by the stairs, I was really happy that we weren't on the same side as the stairs, because you know how stair doors sound. You know, you push that thing and it makes that clank noise, right? And so we would hear that, and it sounds like someone's going into their room. Okay, so if the person across the hall is going into their room, of course we have to hear that door right behind it. So one bedroom is nice, but you're going to be right there by the stairs. And if the elevator is still out, you're going to hear that noise. And then I doubt they're going to put another refrigerator in there. And so, fair warning, you will have a one bedroom. You're going to have a bed in a bedroom with its own TV, with its own cooling and heating system, the dresser thing or whatever that the TV is over, because I think that TV is mounted as well. It is smaller than the one that's out in like what I guess I'll call like the main room. And I call it that because if it were a suite, then, or a regular suite, it would not have had that one bedroom. Okay, and so yes, there's a door. You can close it, you can lock it. And the cool thing is that, well, the downside is you're closer to the refrigerator. But the good thing is that the door might drown out some of the sound, and that there's a second bed. So it also has the regular setup where the bed, the TV, the desk, the dresser, the couch, the table, even though there's like a wall separating those two areas, there's a bed there too. Okay, so if it just so happens you're there for whatever reason and you need to have two beds, then there you go. I liked it because it was like, oh, it could be our changing room or something like that. And so we kept our luggage in there. It worked out pretty well. He wanted to sleep in there, but I like bigger spaces. It's not a small room. It's just when you get used to sleeping in the bigger room where you can probably see the door, you can see the couch, at least if you're sitting up in bed, then you get used to all that space, all that openness, and then if you're like me, you don't want to be crammed up in a room. So we never actually slept in that bed. Oddly so the TV, my husband turned it toward us. We were laying down. I had a migraine, that's the other thing. March, very, very windy. I don't know if it's very much pressure. I don't even know if I said that correctly, or what it was. Maybe I think I changed the elevation. I have no clue. But my headaches, oh my gosh. For one, I hadn't been having them, but they decided to come back and to turn into migraines. So I would say probably the second day on, I had a headache, if not a migraine. And it lasted all the way up until we got home, and just on and off every single day. So by the time we got home on, let's see, Friday, Saturday had one, Sunday, I think so. Today's barely Tuesday, right? So for the past couple of days, I haven't woken up with one. And so I'm happy about that. Maybe it was the weather there. Maybe it was the elevation. I have not a clue. Okay, we even joked about the April 8th thing, right? But I don't think we would have been in the area if we were still there where we've gotten to see the total eclipse anyway. So, but yeah. So I'm finally feeling better so far as that is concerned. But yeah, the trade-off for that room was size versus noise. And the refrigerator was just out of line. It was out of pocket. You guys, I wanted to unplug it, and so I thought about the fact that we had stuff in it. And so you would think they would have sent maintenance up for that, for me to tell them that. And no. And of course, it stopped doing it when they came up there, oh, for the TV. So I was telling you guys about the TV. So it was awkward because I fell asleep with a migraine. I had just taken medicine, and I thought, I don't want to take anything else because I think I've taken too much already for the day. Even though I spread them out, I'm just not used to having to take that much headache medicine and migraine medicine, like I said, because I have them under control, right? And so I knocked out. And I woke up and I heard the noise of my husband's phone. He's sitting up in bed. He's on his phone. And he told me that he was trying to, keep it quiet because I need to be able to sleep. And so he said, right when he fell asleep, the reception went out on the TV. So he got up, he looked at it, and it just still said no signal. So you know how like it bounces around the TV? And so it was doing that. So he went to the bedroom and he tried that TV. He goes, that TV's working. It's just this one for the reception is just out on this one. That's kind of odd. And he's looking at the box. Next thing I know, he's on the floor. He's trying to figure out how to get this TV to work. So he stands back up, right? And then he looked and the cord fell out. Okay, so the HDMI cord, the part that would plug into the TV had fallen apart from the part that plugs into the wall. A piece of it. No clue how. The pins were all bent. It was weird. I don't even know if somebody just thought, oh, I'm just gonna put this back in and not say anything. I don't want to be charged for it. I don't know what happened. But I actually took pictures and I think a small video because they have this wooden frame on the wall. And it kind of reminds you of like when you have like an accent wall. It's not always accented with a wallpaper, a different color paint. Sometimes there's some type of wood, what's that called, cladding, I think, or there's something like that. So this was like this big wooden square, and there was a hole. So the cord had to go through the hole. But then the problem was the cord, once it would fall down, is it gonna fit in between the wood that was on the wall? Okay, if you can kind of picture this window, it was like that, but picture that, wood. This is the blinds are wood, but just like that shape, just like that. And so I had told the front desk, you guys, when I told them that the HDMI cord had fallen out of the TV, you want to know what the guy told me? He goes, well, can you try plugging it back in? We're at 17 minutes. Let me get some water before I touch on that subject. Okay, so I'm thinking, you don't think, I have a little piece of hair or something like that. I thought, you don't think we didn't try that? Now, of course, I'm nice, right? So what I was thinking and what I said was different. So I told him, my husband tried that already, not knowing that those pins were bent like that. So I told him, yeah, not gonna work. So he tells me, well, or he asked me, so when would you want someone to come to the room? Now, the smart ASS side of me wanted to say next week, right? And I think it was the tone of his voice too. Just something about it was like, if he thought he was irritated, I was irritated, right? Because I'm thinking, you can't just leave it not fixed. It's not about, oh, I just have to have a TV. I have to watch TV. I have my phone, right? It's the principle of the matter. I don't think Comfort Suites wants their stuff to be broken and not working and cords just falling out just out of nowhere. I mean, literally, like no one touched it, just whoop. I don't think they want that, right? I don't think they want the refrigerator sound like someone trying to break into your room, but that's just me. So I tell him, you can come whenever. I'm going to be in the room all day. So he tells me, okay, because he told me that since it was such an easy fix, that was something the front desk could take care of, right? And so I said, okay. And at this point, I thought, I don't care who fixes it, okay? Just get someone up here, because the thing is, the principle of the matter is, we should be charged for it. As a matter of fact, we're there for my husband's job, so his company he works for shouldn't be charged for that, right? So I'm thinking that. So he tells me, okay, give them about 30 minutes. I said, okay. That was like before 8 or a little after 8. So 9, 10, all this time the refrigerator is acting a fool, like making this noise, right? Everything's cold in there, it's just making that noise. 11, 12, 1. I said, forget it. I'm gonna lay back down. And then when I wake back up, I'll shower, change, because we're gonna go eat anyway. So let me back up a little bit, because I only slept, besides however many hours I got, if I got a total of plural, okay, not just 1 hour. When I went back to sleep, from being awake, I'd probably say, honestly, I was awake from like 5 or 6 that morning. Okay, so I just thought, forget it, just lay here. And of course, headache's not gone, right? It went from a migraine to a headache. And so, and I know it's like the same thing, but I'm saying, obviously the migraine's worse, right? So, in between 11 and 12 is when I slept. I slept for 30 minutes. I woke up. I said, I can't sleep. I think housekeeping was on the floor. But I think by the time they had moved away from the door, because I had that tag on there. I did take the tag off. The tag was off. I would have to say I put it back on there for like 2 or 3 minutes. I thought, no, take it back off, because you are up, you're waiting for front desk to come. And so I left the tag off even when I lay back down. Like I said, within 30 minutes, I was back up, shower, dress, and still no. So here comes 12, here comes 1, here comes 2. And so I'm texting my husband, he still hasn't come. And I thought maybe they've done a shift change. So I'm thinking, the company's not getting billed for this. So I texted my husband, I said, do you think I should go down there? He text back and said, you know what? I'm going down there. And I thought, and I'm not gonna be very happy, even though I'll be nice, because I gotta hit these 3 flights of stairs, right? So down the stairs I go. I go there, I tell the guy. Now if this was the same guy for that morning, he was like, what's wrong with the TV? And so I told him, and I said, I looked at the cord. I do want to tell you guys, like update you, that no, my husband did not try to plug that back in. There's no way anyone would see it bent like I did, the prongs, and try and plug that back in. So I just wanted to let you guys know, so you guys don't think that he bent them trying to plug them back into the TV. You can clearly see that you cannot do that. So I just wanted to clarify that. Plus I spoke with him earlier this morning and verified that he actually didn't, because just like me, he saw the prongs and they were all bent up. So he says, okay. And on the way up there, I'm telling him about the fridge. And he told me, like, if you want to change rooms, you can. And I'm thinking, I think we were leaving the next day. I thought, forget it. I just wanted to make sure everything's set so that nothing extra spilled to this room, right? So he had got a cord, I guess, and then we went up together. And then, yeah, he had to pull the dresser thing that was underneath the TV away from the wall. And I didn't see whatever else he did, because I think I called my husband and I asked him, hey, they're offering to switch his rooms because of the refrigerator. Do you want to do that? Because I knew if he said yes, I would have to move all the stuff, right? Get new keys and then text him the room number. So he said, no, that's okay. And I'm thinking another fix would be, I don't want to say take the fridge out of the room, but letting it continue to make that noise just because it still gets cold. I don't know. If it were me, unless there was something wrong with the budget, or, oh, you know, front desk can't make those decisions, I don't think anyone could have told me, because I showed him. I shook the door handle and stuff like that, said, yes, it's like that all throughout the day. So he still offered to change his rooms. And I was like, no, I was just on the phone with my husband. He wants to keep the room. And like I said, I didn't want to trade the size, so you deal with it, right? So he says, okay, if you guys change your mind, let me know. And he leaves. And he leaves because he told me, he said, okay, so I did change the cord because something was wrong with the cord. I said, okay. But he left that cord in the room. And so I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm thinking, is it attached to something? Like, isn't that a hazard? Shouldn't you take that? Good thing we don't have kids. So, yeah. I'm just staring at this bent up prong HDMI cable plug thing, just sitting there posted, and I was like, wow. Well, at least he put the cord. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't really like a lot of noise anyway. And the only thing that was interesting that was on TV to me was a whole bunch of game shows. So Pressure Luck was on. You know, if you guys remember that, the one with the whammies. And then there was some of these other game shows. I kind of played along or whatever, but I had other things to think about, other things to take care of. And so I wasn't really focused on the TV that much anyway, so yeah. But those stairs, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, those stairs got us both. We got to the top, and I was so much out of breath I couldn't laugh, but I wanted to laugh, and I said, I cannot believe this. It's only 3 flights of stairs. When we were in Vegas one time, I think same thing happened. The elevators, I don't think they weren't working, I think they were being serviced. And so of course I'm not gonna have people riding on them. And we were up, oh my gosh, 14 stories, 20, I think. And so I thought back to that, we literally had to walk down all those stairs. And I thought, just, well, we'll say, I'll give us 3 or 4 years, I have to admit, 3 or 4 years later. So I guess I shouldn't expect for us to be in the same shape. Because, of course, every time we went back to the room, we had to go up and down those stairs. So I've had to go up and down way more flights than 3. But for some reason, even though I walk on the treadmill, I just wasn't having it. And I was so happy that they were short, they weren't tall steps. So yeah, weather-wise, the first night we got there, windy, very, very windy. I think that was the night of the 25th March. And my husband told me these super, super bad winds tonight. He told me it's going to be windy tomorrow. I had been looking at the forecast before we got there, and one of the days where it was supposed to be cloudy, but warm, like in the 70s, which I'm learning like the hot and cold air makes it not a good thing. And plus, Kansas is like a tornado area, right? It's a part of the, what do they call that? The, you guys know what I'm talking about. It'll come to me, I can't think of it. The plains, something like that. But surprisingly, all of the rest of the days, except for the day we left, luckily we were leaving in the morning, it was sunny and I don't think there was a cloud in the sky. But it was just windy. But the morning we left on Friday, what would that have been, the 28th, 29th, one of those days, whatever day that was, it was cold. And so I thought, he told me, he said, later on today, it's not going to be good here. And I said, oh no, I felt bad. And so yeah, we made a pretty good time getting back home. So that's like a little miniature update of last week. I don't think, you know what? Well, yeah, that would have been last week, right? Maybe the week before, but I think it was last week. Our travel schedule is going to get so heavy, it's like I can't keep up with the times and days. The only reason why I remembered and didn't have to have my book here, because lately I've been having to have my book here just to say the day and the date, is because yesterday was the 8th. And so that's the only reason why I remembered, honestly. But yeah, so my plans. Now I know if you come to the video and you're going to say, okay, part of her title was like aquarium nails or liquid nails or something like that, and then she's not doing nails. This is the walk and talk. So if you're new to my channel, part of the whole review thing that I do is I review everything. What happens if I walk for 2 years? Of course, I can't walk every single day because I might have something to do in town or out of town, and the treadmill has to be able to do exactly what mine can do. I have to be able to a 15 incline, and so of course the speed, what treadmill can't at least go in between 2 and 3, but I also have to have the 40 minutes. And part of my original challenge was to record every single walk. And then I started making up for days in advance. But then the problem was sometimes I'd be walking 3 or 4 times a day, recording 3 or 4 times a day. And so I started running out of things to talk about. And so it led to, I think I'm only going to record on Saturdays. Every day I'm near the treadmill, I am going to walk. And every walk is considered one day. And so then it got down to, I might even record every Saturday, not because we're gone or we're busy, but because if I don't have a topic, I'm not going to. So it kind of just got to where it is now. But I didn't stop. Okay, so this past month or two, if I would say, if I was trying to think, I lost my train of thought for a second. This is the first month or two where every day I was home, I have not walked every day that I was home. I've been a couple days here, a couple days there, which I was worried about doing because then I thought, I don't know if I'm going to keep this up because it's not just a challenge. My doctor said that I need to be doing some type of exercise, that all the stuff I do in the house is not enough. And so that's also what made me start. So yeah, but this week I'm thinking, I think yesterday I decided not to do any more swatch videos. I don't really know, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to make them interesting. Because, and then me filming by myself, you know, I can't zoom in and zoom back out. I have to get up and show you guys if I don't think you can see something. So it's kind of difficult. And of course it's doable. I mean, I'm in good enough health, thankfully, to be able to walk and stuff like that. So it's not the problem of getting up and showing you guys and sitting back down. It's not the issue. But it'd be nice if I could zoom in and zoom back out, hopefully not lose too much focus. But recording by myself, the first way to do it, I haven't learned how. And so I was all excited for that swatch video, and then I thought maybe I won't do anymore. My plan is, let's say I search for a color. You guys know I usually use not polished powders and polishes, right? If I don't see the color when I do a search on YouTube, I think what I decide to do is to swatch those colors. Because there's no way I'm the only one that has searched for them and wants to see what they look like before they buy them. As you guys know, well, I don't know if I told you guys, but I live in a small town, 6 stoplights. And so there is not a nail supply store here where you can get, even if I use Kara Sky products or Mia Secret, where I have access to that or not polish. Those stores are in different states, not just different cities. And so I'm led to just online access. So let's see here. Here goes my nose. But I've been fighting my nose all morning. I know I've seen M17. I am doing an exchange to get that color. I didn't really like M90, and I didn't use it because, of course, if you use the product, you can't return it. But I opened it up to look at the color, and some dropped on a tissue paper. Well, actually, no, it dropped in the bottle, and I had to wipe it off. So I was like, well, I hadn't planned on using it on anything, but it dripped. So I got to see the color when I wiped it off the bottle, and I was like, I kind of like it. So I decided to send it back. My trade is going to be for CC 1012, Extraordinary. Those are, or I should say that color is a part of their, was it sheer candy coat collection, where the powder is kind of sheer. And so I have seen that one swatch. Someone swatched that entire collection of those. And so when I get that, probably won't swatch it. The colors I kept, I have seen the, what is that? OMG 5. I have seen, I think, G12. And so the colors I have, I feel like I've seen them. I think Cool Breeze is a type of blue. I think Let's Jam is what, M33. And so I know I've seen those. So I told myself, well, maybe I won't do a swatch video unless it's a color I haven't seen. And plus, I'm going to start using Superfit to swatch, because using Dip It Base is not working. You're not able to see the colors fully. They all look kind of matte unless it's bright, but you can't see how much it pops. And the whole point of swatching, even for, I think, personal use, is so that you can know what does it look like after it is mixed with whatever you mix it with and it dries, right? And so part of the swatch video was going to be me showing you guys my nails versus one of the swatches, and I've already taken them off. It's so crazy because when I hear one thing in the video and then talk to somebody on the phone, like someone from Young Nails, maybe another nail tech or something, mainly it's like videos and then one of the two companies, the question was brought to me, why are you taking this stuff off, right? Now the idea is to let it grow out. It's just your nail in the acrylic, unless you want to use polygel, right? And that's true. I had just seen a video of this lady. I just recently subscribed to her channel, and she said the same thing. Someone asked her, how long can you wear your nails? And she said, for years, if you're doing your fills correctly and taking care of your nails correctly. And so it was so crazy that he said that, because I had just seen a video that day. Also, I was thinking, past couple of weeks, look at the not polished sheer, like I said, it's called candy coat powders or something like that. I was thinking, wouldn't that be cool? Because you know they just released the OG228, the Porsche, right? You guys did see me swatch. I did swatch video with that one. And I said, what if the polishes were like that as well? And I'm not going to say that they don't have the polished version of those sheer color powders, but I'll have to double check on that and do an update and let you guys know. But what I will say is, I'm on Amazon, scrolling along, and the jelly polishes come up. So if you're wondering, what is the difference like between sheer and the jelly polish, in my opinion, I would probably have to say that depending on the color, obviously, if it's lighter or darker, sheer is going to be, I don't want to say more see-through, but in a way, yes. Obviously, if it's a lighter color on top of that. But the jelly polishes, the thing about them is, I don't know how to explain that. They look like, you probably would say jelly. I don't want to say jelly, but they remind you of maybe candy. Okay, I can compare it. Remember the Jolly Rancher candies? Not the ones that were like a cylinder shape, but the ones I think they have flat ones. I don't know if you remember those. They weren't that big, but they kind of remind me of that. So, any color, green, red. So that's the closest thing I can think of. It reminds me of candy, not necessarily jelly, but candy. And vibrant colors, but see-through, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, just go look up, McCart has a set. I wanted to get it, to me, bad reviews. I like my McCart rhinestone glue. I'm going to be trying the solid nail glue, because I am going to try full cover tips. So there might be a video on that, because of course I'm going to put something back on. And then this other company, it's a company I haven't even used before. I'm sweating now. They have the colors as well, and I just ordered them. Okay, so the aquarium, I don't know, my nose, I think it's running, the different techniques. of how to do it. Do I want to use nail forms and then use polygel? And yes, I do want to say, I'm learning the difference between polygel, builder gel, and solid nail glue. What they can be used for. So if I do the aquarium nails, which I am going to because I got the blunt syringes, right? They're not supposed to have a sharp edge. I don't think my syringes that I have from doing my allergy shots are going to be, the needle will be thin enough, but I think it's going to take a minute to fill them up because I'm going to attempt to do full cover aquarium nails. You have the liquid nails. And so I want to practice. I have all these different tips, and I do have full cover tips that I bought for my mannequin hand, which I don't even practice on anymore. Those aren't as long, but it's so crazy. So number one, those polishes popped up, and I thought that would be cool if Not Polish has them, or if they got them, if they don't have them. And then the other thing was I had 2 nails, and I put them together. Let me stop this. Work 40 minutes, 30 seconds, 1.3 for distance, and 139 calories. Okay, so I took one full coverage nail, I put it on top of the other, and I thought, you know what? I think what I need to do is put a smaller one on top. The purpose was I was trying to practice before I get my little stand, because like I said, I finally broke down and got that stand where it has those little things. They look like what I call chess pieces. And if you've ever seen them, you can take the little putty, you put it on the nail, you put the nail on there, and the idea is that it's supposed to stick on there, not leave a sticky residue underneath the fake nail so that you can decorate it before you put it on. Okay, so I thought I need to practice as if I'm going to put on full coverage nails, right? And so I said, okay, what I need to do is the smaller nail would be pretend nail putting on. The bigger nail underneath will be my nail. And I said they can't be the same size, right? Because I need to see if it's going to work. So I don't know what I used. D&D, I think gel glue that's in a bottle to do that, to see if it was going to stick. Because it was thicker than the Step 2 base. And then this bottle, it's almost like polish. It's almost like gel polish, or a cross between that and regular polish. You know, one's thicker than the other. And so one runs faster than the other. And so I thought, okay, that may not work. And what about the apex? I'm learning about the apex, not just that that's what that area, the strongest part of where you have your nail buildup is called the apex, but how to build it up. Do I want to use builder gel? Do I want to go into polygels? I don't know, because I have all these acrylic powders, right? And so I've been thinking, just worry about how you're going to put on the full coverage nails. What are you going to use? Because if there's an apex, you have to be able to fill that gap. Okay, so I'm learning you don't want air pockets in there, right? That also can cause lifting. And so that was my test. And then I saw aquarium nails, right? And so part of the technique, I'll tell you guys really quick for the aquarium nails, liquid nails, whatever you want to call them, is to, if you do a full coverage nail, is to do 1 or 2 sizes smaller. They said maybe 2 sizes smaller of the other full coverage nail on the top. Okay, of course, you're going to put something to make them stick together, but you need a pocket in there, of course, because you're making a little aquarium on your nails. Yeah, they're liquid filled. And then you have to seal the sides. And so my whole purpose of me doing the 2 full coverage nails was just to practice what I would try to do to get on my nail. And of course, you know, if you get anything on your fingers, you have to wipe it off, alcohol, something. And so I saw the solid nail glue that you can take like a little cuticle pusher or something, and you can go around your finger, right? And you can get it to come off. Like, it actually just rolls right up and comes right off your fingers. It doesn't stick. So I thought, and it cures in the lamp, right? So I thought, okay, that seems to be the easiest thing to do. It's thicker than the Step 2 base from Not Polish. It's thicker than D&D nail glue, right? The gel glue. And so I said, okay. So just so happened that one of the techniques with the aquarium nails, instead of having both the same size, was to have the top one smaller. And I wasn't even doing it for that purpose. And then those popped up. And so, of course, I went into watching those videos. And so I have a lot of things that I'm going to try. I need to test this first. If I do a video, by the time I do it in aquarium nails, I want it to be to where I'm decorating them. I have them on the stand and you guys see me actually put them on, not just make them. So if I'm going to do that, I should have everything by this Friday or Saturday. And then maybe not Saturday or Sunday, but maybe that following Monday or Tuesday, I can go ahead, because maybe I can practice over the weekend, and then we can journey into that, right? Okay, so we're still on our nail journey together. Let me know how you guys are doing on that if you just started off like I did. And I'm still thinking, because I don't know if I told you guys, but I realized I might have to go to school just to invest in being able to know how to do them, even though I'm only going to still do them for me. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to do personal nails and sell them. I thought that'd be really cool if I could get really good at making the aquarium nails. I think thickness is a part of it. Not wanting or not having them too thick, because they're eventually going to be on your nails, right? I guess how to make them thinner, but to have the space to put in what you need to put in, using water versus using oil, right? Okay, so I think that someone was saying, I was watching Pretty Nails, Long Hair. I think I'm saying it backwards. Long Hair, Pretty Nails. I was watching her channel, and I think she was saying that someone had said that the water dries up. So she didn't confirm, I think, yes or no, but I believe I remember hearing her say that. And so I thought, okay, that's good to know that maybe someone made a comment on her video or something like that. Maybe someone told her, or maybe it was from experience. I don't know, but she just made the statement. I said, that's very interesting. And so she said that she uses oil, but she didn't say that was why she used oil. She just said that she tried water, I think, and then now she switched to oil. And so I went to the link, and the oil was different, but it was, what was it? Natural pressed coconut oil, some word. I can't even think of the word. I've never even heard of this type of oil before. And it is, I think, for your hair and your skin. And so I said, oh, okay. And then I learned the last thing I will tell you about, because I'm so excited to try this, is the bubble. Is one, not to fill it up all the way, and you want to have a bubble in there. Okay, so I was like, oh, that's interesting to know. So I'm gathering all this information. I was watching videos like crazy yesterday, and I want to say the day before, but I think yesterday I really dove into it, and I have the idea, but how am I going to do this? Okay, so am I going to use 2 of the same size full coverage nails? One technique was that half tip. You guys know that half coverage tip and me are not friends. That's why I'm thinking about switching to full coverage nails anyway. And I have a feeling I'm going to end up doing polygel at some point. I do, because I don't know. I know that brings into the factor of having nail forms. If you know what nail forms are, they're those stickers that you put on your nail and you actually form a nail out of the product that you're using. You can do it with your powder and your monomer, or you can do it with your polygel, right? So, so many different ways to doll up our nails. And so I am thinking, you know, breakage wise, length wise, apex wise. I'm gathering all this information and stuff like that. So I'm going to see what if they're too heavy. The aquarium nails I make, what if they break easier? You know, some people are going from the tip up and they're marking it with a marker and then getting a mark off of the nail. And then they're making a little base and actually making a little aquarium, and then of course covering the top after they fill everything up that they want in there. They're putting glitter and all types of stuff. So you guys, I am so excited. It's super cool, but just technique, just getting this down, because I'm thinking I jumped from a level 1 to like a level 10 or 20, and my skill hasn't even perfected on even the half coverage tips. It seems like the more I do them, the worse it gets. And the more I hit them and the more they come off. And charms, me and charms, I love them because I haven't learned how to do 3D, but you guys, I did invest in the Sculpted, the builder gel from Not Polished. And so I thought, because I don't use monomer anymore, right? So I thought I don't want to have to pull a monomer back out to do 3D. And so maybe the builder gel, maybe I can use that. And so that was my idea. First thing I'm going to try is a teddy bear. Yeah. And I might be able to get away from the charms. So I have hundreds of charms. Yes. Hundreds of charms, because what I do is I look for, are they even something that could fit on the fake nail, and the size. Okay, I also look at how many do you get. No one wants to pay $20 for 20 nail charms. No. Okay, so I look for the ones that say they have 100 pieces. They have 1,000 pieces, and it's like, you know, $9.99, $7.99. And I have a charm problem. Yeah. It's gotten worse than my boot problem, right? My coat problem. You guys know I love boots and coats. And so, yeah, my nail charms. I have an issue. If there were meetings for this, I would have to go. So, yeah, that's the other thing. The charms, if you hit them once, like my fingers hurt after that. My fingers are just now starting to not hurt. And I know your nails are not supposed to hurt when you do them. And then I might have to go into soaking. Yeah. Taking them off, drilling the stuff, and then trying to like say, okay, that part is powder, that part is my nail. I don't want to get the drill there because they said anything like the tornado bit, safety bit, you don't want to do that on your nails. You want to use that sanding band, right? And so, yeah, I think I didn't hurt myself as much, but I hit my hands on so many things. And I thought, okay, it's the right hand. It's the charms are too big. And then the left hand, one of them, and oh my gosh, you guys, I'll tell you this really quick. Okay, while we're out of town, right? And step 2 dip base saved me. Okay, so instead of it all popping off, except for this one, I reached my phone. I shouldn't say I reached my phone, and my hand slipped, and pow, it hit underneath. Oh, that hurt so much. It popped off. I'm used to sometimes the stuff all popping off, like as if I made a press-on nail, but that hurt. And I think because now I've gotten it to where the tips, all of it doesn't come off together. What happens is if I hit it, like especially straight on, then what happens is it bends, and then the cuticle area is where it lifts if I hit it hard enough. And that hurts because it teeters, right? So the tip is still glued on. And so that's been happening. And I thought, okay, so this whole charm thing, I'm going to have to figure this out. Either get smaller charms, send them back if they're like, because I'm extra sometimes. Okay, I just am. And so I was thinking, you know what? The bigger charms, I might just, if I see they're too big, send them back. And then 3D is the way to go because it doesn't catch in your hair. You know, it's not like rhinestones and stuff like that. And so it's cute. It's pretty artistic. And so I thought I'm going to have to pull out the fact that I can draw, and hopefully that I can get the 3D game down. So you guys, yes, all this coming up within the next 2 weeks. Those are the videos that you guys may see. You guys might even see me practicing making the aquarium nails without the intention of putting them on, especially since I think my base, my little 2 bases and the little thingies, chest pieces, whatever you call them, that you stick the nails on top of, I think that might come today instead of tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see, we'll find out. And I will have to say you're probably going to see possibly a nail video before you guys see me again for the walk and talk. So you guys stay safe until then. Thank you for watching, and I hope whatever you're trying that it's working, because it is frustrating. I mean, who doesn't like to doll themselves up sometimes, right? And stay in shape if they can. They have the time. I will see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.